You know, there's a lot of Bible reading plans out there, and some of them will take you through the Bible in just 1 year. And I think that that's great. You just stick to the plan. A lot of times we have goals to read through the Bible. Some people just want to read through it once in their lifetime. Some people read through it multiple times in their lifetime. You know what my challenge is right now? My challenge is reading through Genesis. No, not the book of Genesis, but Genesis chapter 1. Because I keep seeing such amazing things about my God. I was reading in the beginning how God created the heavens and the earth was without form. Not round, but without form. And that really intrigued me. That interests me. And I try to kind of think it through. And what does that mean, that the earth was without form? Was it because there was waters covering the face of the earth? All over the earth, there was waters. And then God began a series of separations. He separated the waters from the water so that the heavens above, and that depends on your perspective, because above might seem like below if you're looking at the big picture. But if you're just on the earth, the waters above from the waters below. So God separated that, and that's where our heaven or heavens came from. And then God separated the waters on the earth from the waters, from the land. He separated water from land. He caused the waters to gather together. That was just interesting to me, because I was thinking about how that process may have taken place. And as I thought it through, the waters separating would be above the land. But maybe the land wasn't as I envision it, as just a sphere, just being round. Maybe the land had dips and valleys. And so when the water separated, they separated and gathered themselves into the valleys, into the dips, so that when the process was completed, there was a sphere. And so the dry ground not being a sphere, maybe the total product ended up being a sphere. And I thought that that was kind of interesting. And then as I read just a little bit further, it talked about how the vegetation sprang forth or grew up. And I thought, there's that separation again. But it's not a total separation this time. This time, the vegetation just sprung forth, and it separated itself from the earth in that it raised above the level, but it was still there. So it was still connected, but it just exposed itself. It just raised above the level. And then I was thinking, the fowl of the air, they came forth out of the waters. That was just really interesting to me. Sea creatures, I can understand that coming forth or springing forth out of the water, but the birds and stuff springing forth out of the water, that was just interesting to me. I don't really understand the science behind it. I don't understand the biology. I was not a science major, and I didn't even like science, so I don't understand any of that stuff. But then, man, God formed him out of the dust of the earth. That separation again. Took that earth, separated it, formed man. God didn't want man to be lonely, so he did a little bit more separation. He took his rib out, separated his rib out to create and form that beautiful, beautiful woman, his queen. Just interesting. I can't get past the first few verses in Genesis, because I have to keep going back to see what I missed. And I've missed so much. I'm just giving you some of my thoughts. These are just some things that I'm thinking about, and I thought that I would share with you. Genesis chapter 1, just the first few verses. I think it's great to just read it over and over and over again and just see what God has done.